Yo, what's going on, guys? Bigfoot back in the Lego room with part 2 of bricks to build in this new series that I wanted to come up with. Obviously, from part 1, we saw that we tiled off and gave texture to the courtyard of the build, and I think we're going to go off to the side here of the build. You're going to do this side and that side, and I think what I'll have to do is bring in a bunch of pieces from the side that I have collected to kind of show off what I was doing. All right, so as you guys can see, kind of off to the right side of the screen, that I have a bunch of slope pieces, and I have an assembly here that I built that is going to go on the side of the right building. And the purpose of that is the hidden path, a hideout, the place where I'll have a figure come in this little safe room and be set away or hid away from the empire. And one part, if you try and do something like this, obviously the big thing that I had to realize was you can't just tile off here and put slopes there, because if you do so, this part's a little fragile. If I was to push down, you'd have a little bit of a gap and it wouldn't look as flush. So the big part that I realized is that what I'll have to do is put a 2x4 plate down just to be able to make this look a little flush. And the build that I have here is a little fragile, and so I think if this back piece fell off, maybe it didn't. But with that, it kind of looks more flush. Like this was built into a rock wall, and that's what this is going to be. But I screwed up a little bit, so I think if I can possibly recover by grabbing one of these pieces. Sorry, I screwed up this little part of the build, but now go like that, and it's going to be a little more sturdy. I missed that part too, so nice, good move. And just use this piece for now. No, I can't use that piece, I just dropped it. But the idea is to just build up that rock wall. I considered going higher with it, but I didn't want to go too crazy with it. But you just kind of start off with some random slopes and just kind of build up a wall. There's some of these builders that make some really, really nice rock walls. And I'm not one of them, so I won't pretend to be. The next step is now I'm going to tile off in here, but I also have to add some more jumpers. And I think we'll go with an actual jumper piece off on the side, and possibly, it's kind of hard on how I want to do it, because you have to gauge it just right to be a good looking area and also an effective, workable part of the build. Tiles over here. Slide this like that. I think we're going to actually take that piece out. I think one jumper is going to have to be enough. I think we'll have to go something like that. And the reason why I'm doing that is because obviously I have it tiled off here strictly for the purpose of this little lip here. I had it plated off, but it got stuck so much that the Obi-Wan's hut would actually rip apart. So I couldn't do that. So what we're gonna do is find my other 2x4. Oh no, I can't. That's right. I thought I had the right piece. All right, so we're gonna take our 2x3, and same idea is we're just gonna plaster it down. And we could have it as a cave system in a sense, kind of with an arch over, but I'm not sure how we're gonna exactly do it. So I have a bunch of these slopes here that I'll pull over, and it's kind of, all you have to really do is just kind of play with it, see what you like, how does it look. Cave system would kind of look not terrible, but not exactly great. That'd be too tall, so we can't do it that way. We'll do another time lapse of how I figured this out. We'll come back in a second. All right, so you saw in the time lapse, we have this little tiny area for a figure to sit in. That would be, in my mind, the hidden path area, right? So, well, the head figure's not gonna work. Put a standard figure. And I'm hoping it's really a tight fit, but I'm not gonna click them down just because it's just too tight, and these builds are a little fragile. But you can kind of see, I wanted to have a little bit of a gap. That way they're not completely free from being seen, essentially, but they're still hidden. So let's say a stormtrooper wanted to walk around the corner. They could still be seen if they're not careful, but also still, in a sense, a hidden path area. And so that was the idea there. Tiled it off on the roof just a little bit with a couple jumpers for a figure to stand on, or I thought about putting a kind of like a retention wall or retaining wall up here. That way a figure can stand here and kind of fire down into the area. I forgot to place down this one stick piece. That's the only one that I have in my collection, and I wanted to give, like, just these small things give a build or a mock just that little bit of extra detail. So there's that. The back here, we'll probably do the same idea here with just tiling it off. Nothing crazy. I actually might not end up tiling it off completely, but let's see. Just tile off back here, and I'll finish tiling this off in just a second. But what I wanted to show is my idea for this back corner. I didn't want it just to be completely flat like the front. So the idea was I have this little build. It is a angled plate with another corner piece on top. You can kind of see it here leveled up. But I was going to just completely place it flat on the build and call it a day. But it stuck too hard. It was hard to get apart. And so, you know, experimenting, finding this out, it wasn't gonna work well if I wanted to change it. So the same idea with how I put these plates on. I put some, they're not jumpers, but just 1x3 plates. And I put them on, so that way I can stick it down here. Obviously the gray is not gonna look good. That's all right for now. But now I have a little bit of a elevated area in the back. And obviously it's not gonna be easy to tile off, right? I can't just tile it off at an angle here. I can't just come over here and put a tile like that. And that was another situation that I had to figure out, because if I did put this corner plate straight onto the tie or the other plate, I couldn't tile it off. So with this in mind, I can find out where all of the tiles will sit. So I can put one here, here, and up in the front. So what I can do is, I gotta figure out how I'm doing this. So here, here, and then on the side. So now I should be able to completely, oh, I messed up. I gotta go one further up, so. Just like that. So now I can click it down and have a tiled off area. And it still looks good. It looks built up with this little rock position. And so that's how that's gonna be. I think I'm gonna end it here. Obviously, we would know how to tile off back here. And we'll come back to this in the last video. But this is what I wanted to show off, was this quick idea that I had here. It's not my idea. I'm sure other builders came up with this exact idea, or even better than what I did. But in the next video, we'll come back and finish off this back area and the side, and then start to place figures. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching this part 2 of From Bricks to Builds. If you're new to the channel, if you're watching this for the second time, or watching the second episode in the series, and you're new to the channel, subscribe if you want to finish it out. As always, please smash that like button. It helps me out a ton. And as always, take it easy.